We can upload it.
Okay.
Perfect. Right. Hi, guys. So we've had some technical difficulties. It's great when it works, not so much when it doesn't, but we're here now. So welcome to Denise. Thank you so much for coming into the Mompreneur Diaries and sharing your knowledge and wisdom. And excuse Lily in the background, sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. So for a little bit about Denise, for those of you that don't know her, so Denise is a Move Well coach. She helps her clients create transformation, alignment, joy, success, and fulfillment in their bodies, being, lives, and businesses through somatic movement, yoga, and coaching. So her clients range in age from 20 to 70, and they're men and women alike. So she works with anyone and really help everyone transform, don't you? So I'm excited to hear more. I know when we originally connected, I'd never heard of the word somatics in this sense. So I'm really interested to hear more about it and how we can all use it in our lives to transform our lives and just help lives be easier and with more flow through. So I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks so much. It's great to be here. And let me just say that the reason I'm here today is because of my journey as a mom. My experience as a mom, my journey as a mom. You know, I am a single mom. I was a single mom when my daughter was born. And I went through that journey of stress and tension. And we've been on a well-being journey as well, which is another story. And that's why I do what I do today. And what I've created today is because of all that. Because I know from past experience, my daughter's now 14, so teenager, different stress, but I know what it's like when you've got young kids like you do. Maybe you're not sleeping. Maybe they won't go down from their nap when you need them to. Maybe you can't even go to the bathroom without somebody saying, "Mom, mom, mom." All of those things. Or maybe you're carrying kids around because they won't go down. And so your back hurts, your shoulders hurt, your neck hurts, your hips hurt. And you end up with these niggly bits in your body as a result of lack of sleep, mental, emotional stress, and physical stress. And so I'd like to ask everybody who's on now just to have a think about your stress. Were you stressed in the last day or 2 days or week or month? Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to ask you, what does your stress cost you? Physically in your body, headaches, stress, anxiety, depression, all these things. In your emotional well-being, in your ability not only to parent your children with patience and wisdom and kindness and, you know, a sense of light, and also in your relationships, whether it be with your partner or your friends or your family, your wider family. And also in your business and your ability to do whatever it is you do, whether it's in the home and running the home, or whether it's you're juggling motherhood with a career, which is what I did for a long time. We know from peak performance research that people, all of us, we do better when we feel better, whether that's children and how you parent your children, or whether that's how you look after yourself and your body. So we know that prolonged stress, and it doesn't matter what kind of stress, whether it's mental stress, emotional stress, or physical stress, whether you're worried about your child teething, whether you're worried about the cost of your mortgage, whether you're worried about, you know, COVID, whether you're worried about, I don't know, you know, the state of your, whatever that might be for you, that stress is going to manifest itself into your body. And why is that? That's because whenever we're stressed, whether mentally, emotionally, physically, our muscles kind of tighten just a tiny little bit. But what happens is over time, those muscles that have tightened imperceptibly, that becomes chronic. And your brain is ever so helpful. And your brain goes, "Ooh, Lucy has tightened her shoulders just a little bit. And it's been that way all week. Lucy must want that. So we're going to be ever so helpful, and we're going to move the conscious control of those shoulder muscles out of your consciousness into your subconscious to free up more consciousness space so you can mother your children." And then what happens is you get shoulders that are stuck like rocks, and you might go for a massage and they'll soften a little, but then they're back. or you might do a yoga class and they'll soften a little and then they're back. And you can't literally will not be able to release them to their full capacity or move your body. I'm using shoulders because we're on Zoom, but it can be anything in the way that your body's been designed to move because of this stuck stress. Does all this make sense? Does all this? Yeah, you're nodding. Okay. So you then develop something called sensory motor amnesia, and that's where the brain, because you've gone into your subconscious, literally disconnects from your muscles. You don't have the telephone lines anymore to communicate, and that's why stuff stays stuck. And here's the crazy thing. You might be in your 20s or early 30s now as a mom and have stuck stress in your shoulders or neck, and that can stay stuck for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. I work with some of my older clients who are in their 50s and 60s, and they have stuck stress patterns in their body still that they picked up when they had accidents or injuries when they were in their 20s or teens. So this stuff can stay stuck for a long time. And then that impacts you because everything's connected, changes the way you walk, changes the way you move, changes and creates pain in other parts of your body. And then that affects how you parent, how you feel. This then creates certain patterns in your body. So what are those patterns? So the good news is, and I'm going to get you to quickly check yourself in just a second. So even though we're not going to do the physical teaching today, we're going to do a little bit of an assessment today, and then we'll teach next week. So the good news is that the stress that you have forms footprints or patterns in your body, and there's only 3. So the first one is kind of like this, and the head is pushed forward, the shoulders are rounded, the rib cage is tucked in, and the pelvis is tucked under. And doesn't this look a lot like sitting at the desk and typing at the computer? Well, guess what? Sitting at the desk, typing at the computer puts the same sort of response into your body. And doesn't that look a lot like if I were to throw something at you, boosh, you'd go like this.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same thing. Now, the next response or stress pattern is this. Doesn't this kind of look like a general walk, a soldier marching off to war, shoulder blades pulled back, chest lifted and widened. The low back is now arched and the pelvis is tipped forward. Well, if you're a super busy mom with a to-do list, 1.5 miles long, and you're running your own business or whatever, you've got a career and you've got to get stuff done, you're going to adopt this pattern because this is the reactive, I'm going to go get stuff done pattern.
Yeah.
The third pattern is, I'll try to do something sitting, is kind of like this. Can you see? I'm sort of crooked. Does this look a lot like I'm carrying a kid on one hip and I'm trying to cook with this hand?
Yeah.
Or
Life.
how about, yeah. Or how about I've sprained an ankle, so I'm limping around. So this side of my body's working harder and this side's not. Or
yeah.
So that's the crookedness pattern. Now, here's the crazy thing. Almost everybody has at least part and parcel of each of those 3 in their body. And here's where it gets kind of really scary. If in your body you have this, where you're stuck in the front, and this is really contracted, and you're trying to go get stuff done, and simultaneously you've got stress and tension here in your body, you've got stuff stuck in the front and stuff stuck in the back. To see a really drastic example of this, if you look at some of the photos of the Queen in the last couple of years before her death, you'll see her back is tight and arched and her front body is collapsed inward as well. And it's kind of like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't move. And things that we might think of like stress and anxiety, depression, sexual dysfunction, high blood pressure, I already said that. What else? Back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, fatigue, the obvious physical pain in your body, and mobility issues. All of those can be resulting from any of those 3 patterns and being stuck front and back. So here's the good news. It's easy to dissolve all that stuff out. So would you like to just do a quick check-in?
Yeah, sounds fab. I know we've got a couple of people watching as well.
Any questions from anyone?
So there's no questions, but Kaylee said that, like, from the first part of your talk, that feeling drained at the end of the day, but then also feeling guilty that if you've not done enough in the day is a common one for her. And I can definitely relate to that. And with those 3 stress patterns, that the bending over the first one, definitely something I relate to, especially since I'm pretty much always working at a computer, or not sitting in the best place to be working at a computer as well. So then your body's out of alignment. I am conscious sometimes of trying to, like, bring my shoulders back and sit up straight and things like that. And then also the crooked,
Yeah.
especially because I am often carrying a child on a hip and, trying to do something else at the same time. And also I broke my leg when I was, how old was I? I was 8, and it was quite a bad break. So I have been told that before, that I didn't do enough physio, but I also obviously overcompensated on the other side, as I was on crutches and things for quite a long time, at such a young age.
So all of us, so here's the thing. We're all living being bodies that are out here experiencing this world. And we have times that are stressful, times that are not so stressful. We have accidents in our physical body. We injure our body. And so it's actually these stress patterns that take hold of our body. We eat food 3 times a day, and that food causes plaque in our teeth. We don't think anything of it. It's just what happens. And so we go and brush our teeth. The thing is, that's exactly the same with these stress patterns that come into our body, whether, think about breastfeeding as well. You're rounded.
Yeah.
So whether you're taking care of your kids, or whether you're working at a computer, or whether you're standing all day because your job means you have to be on your feet, whatever it might be, we pick up these stress and tension patterns. And the techniques that I'm going to be teaching next week, and I'll speak a little bit about them in a moment, it's kind of like brushing your teeth, but you're brushing your body, and you're getting rid of these stress and tension patterns so they don't take hold and impact you. And to Kaylee's point, I love her comment. If you have stress stuck in your physical body, so you're a little achy, how much does that drain your vitality and your energy? If you're walking around with a headache, how functional are you? Are you showing up as your best self? Or are you kind of showing up less eloquent, less patient, less kind, less powerful? Yeah. So that fatigue and that guilt and that, it's stepping into the realization. I had this conversation with a client this morning. It's stepping into the realization that what's out there in the external world just is. You got a lot on, that just is. It's not good, it's not bad, you just have a lot on. What is up to you and what is different is your inner response to that having a lot on. And this somatic movement that I'm going to talk about in just a moment is a super, in my opinion, and I've been a yoga teacher and I've done meditation and breath work and worked with this I've done a whole host of things over the last years. Somatic movement, in my mind, is the most impactful, powerful, because 5, 10, 15 minutes, you can switch your nervous system from fight or flight, stressed out, into that place of calm. And then you can go into your day. You can dissolve off muscles that are super tight. Things that might take you years in a yoga class to actually get them to dissolve and stay dissolved, years of regular practice, you can dissolve and change in a session, in a couple of sessions. It depends on your age. Younger you are, the less time those patterns have been there, the quicker they go. It's kind of like making a baby, takes 9 months and takes 9 months to, and whether or not you're continuing to do the thing that put the stress pattern in your body. If you are, it's just like a daily self-care, 5-10 minutes to solve it out again, like you brush your teeth. Okay. Any other questions or comments? And then we're going to do a quick check-in assessment.
No, I don't think so. I think the only thing that just popped in my head before was that, like, I think when with that analogy, I think it's, like brushing your teeth, it's just something you do because you should do it. But I think, especially I find as mums, or I do anyway, is that if you've got a bit of an achy back, achy shoulders, you just deal with it. It's one of those things that you don't necessarily do something about it because there are so many other things to do. But then, like you say, it is one of those things that if you don't deal with it, I guess it's going to impact you for longer and potentially impact you worse later in life. So I think it is really important. I know that's something I do. I generally have achy shoulders or lower back, and I'm just like, oh, crack on, get on with it. Like, don't think, oh, what can I do? I might be like, oh, I'll book a massage in a couple of months. Like, but I don't necessarily do anything to then try and rectify it.
Here's the thing, Lucy, you could book a massage, and whilst it might feel so decadent at the time,
Yeah.
how long does that effect last?
Yeah.
And you can wake up the next morning with just as much tension in your muscles or 2 days later as you had, and that's
Definitely.
because massage work, osteopathy, cover. Now, everything has its place, and there's benefits to all of this. And I'm not saying don't go do those things, but those, or even yoga, and I'm a yoga teacher as well. All of those things have their place, and some of them are very passive. You're going for a massage, the masseuse is doing things to you. You're not using your brain.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about somatic movement is that it is a body innate self-help technique. You learn techniques to help yourself. So when you have an achy back, you can take 5 minutes while the kettle's boiling, or your child's playing on the floor, you can lie down on the floor and do just 5 minutes tuning into yourself because she's not paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Help dissolve some of the chronic tension that's in your back, and then you stand up and you walk differently.
Yeah.
I have clients that'll arrive in a session and they an hour later that I get them to stand up and they're suddenly standing straighter, and we didn't even do a lot of movement. And do stretching, because stretching does not work. Stretching chronically tense muscles will actually scare the muscle in a way. The muscle will react and tense tighter. That's why they recontract, because they're saying, oh my God, we're stretching, we're gonna rip. So I'll contract and hold. And that's
Really
why stretching doesn't work.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. I think Kylie said kind of what I was saying, your own health is always at the back of your mind when you've got a child. I guess it's, you always prioritize their needs before your own, which I know is not necessarily the best thing to do, because like you say, if you're not looking after yourself, you can't be the best mum to them either.
The best, just on that, Lucy, the best, I got some advice from a mom who was a few years along ahead of me. The day my daughter was born, she came to me and she said, the number one thing you can do as a mom is to look after yourself. If you're okay, your child will be okay. And I have been so thankful for her for that. And it's not easy to do.
No.
But putting yourself first and taking care of yourself so that you can be a more powerful parent is everything. And simultaneously along with that, I went searching for things that are short and sweet that I can do that are not going to take an hour, because I never had an hour.
Yeah.
So 5, 10, 15 minutes. You can do
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, was there something else, or
No, that's
okay.
it.
Okay, so let's just check in if you may or may not know where the tension patterns are in your body. So let's just check in. If I got you to close your eyes, and in that very short moment, I don't want you to change your body, just close your eyes. Sense and feel, where is your breath landing in your body? Is it upper chest, ribs, high ribs, or low belly?
I'd say ribs for me personally.
Most people are breathing up here and up here. And this breath that's here, that's shallow and high, is fight or flight, stressed out breath. So that's the first sign that you're in stuck stress.
Mhm.
Then the next thing that I can get you to do is if you stand up in front of your desk, I'll just put my glasses on so I can see the screen. Can you actually, standing with your feet straight, fists width apart, can you actually tip your pelvis under without moving your upper body? And can you tip your pelvis forward comfortably here, again, without moving your upper body? Usually one or two of those directions are going to be a little stuck. Here's the other thing you can do to check. If you stand square and your feet are also straight and fist width apart, if you were to bend one knee, I'll get you to do it first. Just bend one knee, your foot stays on the floor. Yeah. Can you see when Lucy, so stay there, Lucy, I'm going to bend one knee. Can you see how Lucy's torso twisted instead of your waist going shorter on one side, longer on the other? Can you see that, Lucy?
Yeah.
So straighten your hips, bend the other knee. Yeah, can you see how much you're twisting to, now guess what? If I bend the other knee, can you see how my pelvis, there's no twist in my torso?
Yeah.
Well, guess what happens when you're walking? Your pelvis, when you're walking, should be, if this is your hips, should be hiking and dropping as you walk. And there is a rotation, but not from, but also in your ribs, there's, it's more complicated there. But this movement in your waist is stuck. The other thing you can look at is if you were to stand, is your head permanently forward? A whole host of people, younger and younger and younger, are, because of screens. And there's more, but those are just 3 really quick things that you can look at to see where, stress, and, we've found you've got some.
Yeah.
Right away.
I definitely know I had some.
Okay. So I'll speak just a few more minutes on just a couple minutes on somatics, and then I'll take questions and things like that. So nobody's heard of somatic movement. It's slowly starting to become more popular. But it is an incredibly powerful, incredibly gentle, incredibly relaxing technique that you can learn to help yourself. And that's parcel what I do. It's a neuromuscular movement. So even though we're moving, we're not targeting the body, but we're using the body as a tool to get to the brain and to get to the emotions that might be stuck in the body. Because if we were to try to sit and meditate, everybody says, oh, I can't meditate because I can't, because I'm too stressed to meditate.
Yeah.
Or, counseling and talking therapies to get to some of the trauma that's stuck in our body. Oh, that takes ages and it's quite a, but if we said, okay, body, can you just move a little tiny bit and can you release? The body goes, okay. There's no defense like we have the defensive over our heart. My heart's over here, over my heart, and in our brain. Oh my God, I don't have so somatic movement is about, depending on where your tension patterns are in your body, tiny little small movements with our body. We go into contraction and then release from it. If you watch babies or dogs or cats, this is what they do. They wake up and they go like this, and then they go like this. So they go into contraction and then they come gently into elongation. That's pendiculation. And we pay attention to, sensing and feeling how the body is moving, and using some imagining, we can reconnect those missing telephone lines so that within just a couple of minutes, movement that might have been missing, suddenly we reconnect to it. So, and whilst we're working with the physical body to dissolve out that physical tension, we get rid of our mental stress, we release a lot of emotional stress, and without any of the heavy lifting, if that makes sense. So next week, we'll actually get you to lay down, and I'll teach you a technique to dissolve tension in your back body, in your back and in your front, kind of a combination of movements that I do every single day. Even if I just have 5 minutes, I do this every day.
I think that's something that'll be really useful for me, something that I can do in those short grabs of time, especially like you say, even if it's, you know, a day when Sophia's not at nursery and she's home, either when she's napping or even just when she, like you say, she's happily playing, and I can just take those 5-10 minutes to quickly do it. I think that'll be really useful for me, because it's one of those things you're like, oh, I don't have a spare. Even I know massage is short term, it's just one of my favorite things. I'm like, but I don't necessarily fitting in a massage can be hard to do. And I guess other things that do take those longer periods, it's easy to push them aside and not do them, because you're like, where's the time? When can I actually even do that?
So I created a my signature program is Align Body, Align Being.
Yeah.
Align Body, which is one component of it, is 2 30-minute sessions per week, with a view that within that you might learn 2 or 3 techniques. So you could just go do one of those techniques. So the idea being that within that 30-minute session that you learn some techniques, you could then break that down into those 5-minute blocks once a day or a couple of times a day, fitting them in where and where. It's not that you need to sit down and spend an hour doing this, though every once in a while it's decadent to take half an hour, 45 minutes, which is what I'll do for myself. Maybe once a week I'll do a longer session, and in between I just 5, 10, 15 minutes, and that's enough. So yeah,
Great idea.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you have any questions? Does anybody live have any questions?
I think you've answered most of my questions. I'm excited to learn some of the techniques to actually be able to do it. And then, so we're going to do that, I mean, next Wednesday. So that will be the 7th of June at 1 p.m. Again, we'll come live into the group. So I will live on the video be going through it, and then, you know, you're more than welcome to, if you want to join us live and want to do it your end as well, then you're more than welcome to follow Denise through that as well, which will be very exciting. I'm really excited to try. But yes, so if you'd like to share about your signature program and things in the group as well, and then people can obviously have a look into that and see if it's something that I know it would be beneficial for everyone, but, you know, they can look into it some more. And if anyone has, if you watch the replay back, we'd love to know if you want to drop a #replay or something on there, or if anyone has any questions, then please ask them in the comments as well, and Denise can come back to and answer those as well. But yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I've loved learning a bit more about it, because like I say, I didn't know anything really about it beforehand.
Can't wait to share with you more, and it's been a pleasure. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.